Voy a proveer interpretación simultánea del inglés al español. Si alguien requiere equipo, lo tengo aquí en la mesa a un lado. Good afternoon. My name is Carla Martins, and I'm here on behalf of the Language Justice Network of Just Communities to provide simultaneous interpretation from English to Spanish. If anyone needs equipment, I've got it right on the table over here. Thank you. Gracias.
Okay, we would like to start our program today by welcoming folks from EOPS, STEM Center, Equity Center, Umoja, and La Patera Elementary to bring flowers to the podium. We would like to welcome the Corral and Becerra families, our SBCC community, the Goleta School District, the La Patera community, and all the friends and loved ones of Adolfo and Mary Jane Corral. Thank you for coming today to participate in this vigil. We're gathered here today to remember and honor the lives of Adolfo and Mary Jane Corral. It is important for us as a community, as families, as individuals, to honor their memory by pausing to remember the impact they had on our lives and community. To spend time reflecting back on the joyful times spent with Adolfo and Mary Jane. And to acknowledge the gifts, the passion, and the love that they shared with all of us. Adolfo Corral was a member of our Santa Barbara City College community for over 15 years. As an extended opportunity programs and services student program advisor, a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics transfer center coordinator, and equity, diversity, and cultural competency coordinator, and an adjunct professor with professional development. Mary Jane Becerra Corral was at La Patera Elementary School in Goleta as a computer specialist for 7 years. She also served as a substitute teacher for many years, and both Mary Jane and Adolfo were La Patera parents for 15 years. On behalf of SBCC, I want to extend our heartfelt condolences to the Corral and Becerra families. Our hearts go out to all of you, and we're grateful to have this opportunity to be able to come together as a community to honor Adolfo and Mary Jane Becerra Corral. Please bow your heads and join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now I want to welcome our Santa Barbara City College President and Superintendent, Dr. Utpal Goswami.
Good afternoon. I hope that we didn't have to meet today. I'd have given anything not to have to give this speech today. And I'm sure you feel the same way, that you shouldn't have been here. But that was not to be the case. We have suffered immense loss, but our loss does not compare to the loss suffered by children and his family. Can I give you a hug? I'm new here, didn't have much chance to know your dad, but I did have the privilege of walking with him from over there all the way down to the other campus. And we had a long conversation. And on those 5-10 minutes of conversation, it was very clear to me that I was talking to a person who puts others before himself. He was a selfless person, and because of that, I think this is the outpouring of support we're seeing here. That's a rare individual who puts others before him. And that's why he advocated for many causes that has moved our institution forward. People wonder about legacy. People wonder about what my legacy is going to be. Adolfo doesn't have to worry about his legacy. Your presence here is his legacy. He has touched every one of you in his unique ways. He has left a number of students, countless students, who is going to benefit from his advice and counsel and friendship. Santa Barbara City College is a richer place because of our privilege of having Adolfo in our midst for 15 years. I can go on and keep saying all the good things that I'm hearing about Adolfo. I can promise you that we as a community share his passion about the things that he advocated for. And I can commit to you that we will continue the work that he started, so that his legacy is going to continue at Santa Barbara City College. I thank you very much. Please send your best thoughts to the family. Thank you.
We will now hear from Dr. Pamela Ralston, our Executive Vice President. Pamela.
Thank you all for being here to honor Adolfo and Mary Jane Corral. I wanted to share with you a little bit about how much impact Adolfo has had on all of us who serve students. From those of us who inspire students in the classroom to those of us providing essential support for academic and personal success. Adolfo worked his way through or with almost every program designed to see and support students, both for who they are and who they will become. There are people with us today who are Adolfo's advisees and now counsel and support our students in their professional roles. There are scientists and mathematicians and engineers who came into their fields in part because of the encouragement and role modeling that Adolfo provided. His dedication to a world made better because of education was evident in everything he did. We loved working with him because of who he was, which permeated everything he touched. Adolfo was one of the most earnest, centered people I have known. His singular focus, his deep dedication to helping students, people, be their best selves was quietly, powerfully inspirational. Working with him helped me be better. In the last year, he has helped to step up to serve the Center for Equity and Social Justice, our Umoja program, the food pantry, and Tiffany's Closet. Our staff and students have benefited from his leadership and his advocacy. Part of Adolfo's ability to make so much change for people lay in his incredible, quiet sense of self and his wicked sense of humor. He could drop a dry retort into almost any conversation and lighten us. Paloma, Arnold, and I realized just last week that he actually sparkled. When we teased him about a little glitter from a daughter's morning hug that was shining in his mustache, he laughed and he posed for us. All the while working to bring resources together for folks who are underserved in our community. Adolfo literally shone. We are grateful to have had him for as long as we did. Thank you.
And now Dr. Luis Guillerdo from SBCC.
Good evening, relatives. Obila Tokashla. Pitaku Yapi. O Mazoniktelo. Chichialo. Adolfo Corral. Chichialo. Mary Jane Corral. Chichialo. Their beautiful children and family. Relatives, thank you for coming here. Tonkashelai wani wachiyeloi. Tonkashelai wani wachiyeloi. Wani wachiyeloi. Aye. Chanu pawa yuha oye wa yelo yoy tonka shelai wani wachi yelo yo aye hoy. Adolfo Corral was my friend, and I'm going to miss him deeply. We had an opportunity to work together. I learned a lot from him. I thank his family for coming here today. I ask the Creator to bless them, to bless his children, to bless his family, to bless this community and help us heal and walk through this with grace. Thank you all. Oh, Dakuya.
And now we'll ask Lorena Lopez from SBC STEM Center to come forward.
Adolfo, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for always giving me your support, for letting me learn from you. When I went to the final interview for the job I now have, I remember I was all nervous, and you came out of the interview and you smiled and said, feel proud of yourself for making it this far. There were many applicants and you made it to the final interview. So even if you don't get the job, feel proud of yourself. I was smiling but also thinking, wait,
Did he say that because I'm not getting the job? And from there, I knew I had to learn to figure you out because you were not going to make it easy for me. I would tell you something and you would say, tough. I would be like, wait, tough, like get out of here, or tough, you're doing amazing. One of the Science Discovery Day events that we did, you brought your daughter to help. And when the event ended and we were picking up, I saw you looking all over for your daughter and said, don't worry, she's fine, she's right there. And you said, I'm not worried, I know she's okay. I want her to help us so we can get out of here faster so we can all go home and rest. Next day I showed you pictures I took at the event, and you smiled and said, that's my wife right there. Adolfo was looking at his wife's picture with a big smile. So many good memories, so many smiles and laughs. I was looking for the picture of a Halloween when I came dressed as Vilma and I brought you the costume of Shaggy. We showed up to a potluck in our costumes, and even your closest friends couldn't believe it. They were like, "You wanted to dress up?" I was like, nah, I just gave him the costume and not give him much of a choice. It was hard for me when you left the STEM transfer program. But you told me, I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be here if you need anything. And yes, you were always there for me, even when you were running around crazy busy. I know I could message you and you would respond to me. I could stop at your office and you would stop whatever you were doing to listen to me. You were running, and if we saw each other, you would stop and talk to me. When I shared with you that I wanted to start planning to buy a house, you said, okay, look at a house and get it. I was like, what? And you said, look, the more that you think about it, the less that it would happen. Just get it. Yes, you're going to get sick. You're going to throw up and get an upset stomach at first. But then it would get better and you would be glad you did it. Last time I saw you, you carried a big watermelon to my car. We walked together to be able to talk. You said, I'll be here. I'm here to help you. I'll walk you through the process. Once dates get close, she said, check with me and I'll help you. Do what you have to do now and check with me later. We were only a team of 2 in the STEM Center, but we always made it work thanks to our amazing student workers and our students that are so grateful in your knowledge and guidance. Yes, it hurts. To all of us, students love you, and you earn the love of every single student that you got to meet you. Thank you, Adolfo. Thank you for caring and supporting the STEM family. Thank you for doing so much for the students. Thank you for sharing with me the parenting tips. We already miss you.
Alicia Sanchez from SBCC EOPS.
Hi everyone, my name is Alicia and I'm here to speak on behalf of myself in the EOPS department. As I stand before you all today with a heavy heart, I'm at a complete loss of words. But there's one word that I keep repeating in my head, and that's tough. Yep, it's Adolfo's all-time favorite word, no matter what the context of the conversation was. Guess what, Adolfo? I got my first acceptance letter. Tough. Yo, Adolfo, I got the full-time position in EOPS. Tough. As a lost, confused, troubled kid coming into EOPS the summer of 2012 to do the Running Start program, I had no one to guide me in college. That's usually what it's like for first-generation college students. But when I arrived, I met this man who sat in one of the back offices of EOPS with his little checkered shirt, his dad jeans, his little black belt, Nike shoes, and those little glasses that would change color when he was outside in the sun. And that man
saw something in me that I never saw in myself. Adolfo was my go-to, he was my mentor, he was my friend, and he was my #1 supporter. And I know he was that for many students and not just myself. When you needed advice, Adolfo was there. When you needed to hear the truth, nothing sugar-coated, Adolfo was there. It may have not been what you wanted to hear at the moment, but for some damn reason, Adolfo was always right. He pushed us to be better students and to keep striving no matter what obstacles were working against us. Adolfo embodies everything that EOPS stands for. He continued to guide us, go above and beyond for us, and he always made sure to instill that toughness in us so that we knew we belonged in college. He was that person to all of us Running Start EOPS students. We needed him, and for that, I want to thank his beautiful children for sharing him with us. All the memories I have to look back on bring nothing but smiles to my face because he was just so funny. Like, even when he wasn't trying to be funny, he was just funny. He just had this energy about him. I used to tell him all the time, like, dude, I want to be just like you when I grow up. And his response was always, tough. Well, one banana away keeps the doctors away. I'm truly going to miss all the conversations, laughs, tears, and everything that we shared. One of my favorite memories of Adolfo and Mary Jane is when the EOPS Club would do our canvas auction. Every year, the EOPS Club, we would paint these canvases and auction them off to staff and faculty as a fundraiser. Every single year, I would try to get myself out of doing one of them. You see how much of a talker that I am a painter. But Daniel Gonzalez always forced me to do one. Come on, Alicia, you're the EOPS Club president. You have to do a canvas. And so while the rest of the amazing artists in the EOPS Club, like Eddie, Megan, and Renee, they would paint these huge canvases. And I would always choose the smallest one there was, you know, less room to work with was always better for me. So anyway, I would paint this random little canvas, which usually always had a Hawaiian flower or some Rasta colors, and we would have our event and auction them off. My canvas was always the one with no bids. I'm talking like blank piece of paper, no type of love. And I would walk around and try to look at everyone else's and point at mine like, this loser over here, knowing damn well it was my canvas. But then at the end of every single event, we would be cleaning up, and then I would see Adolfo and Mary Jane and one of the girls walking up to me with my canvas in their hand. They always made sure to buy my artwork no matter how it looked. God bless y'all. The thing that sticks out the most to me about Adolfo is that he never once lost contact with his students, even when they graduated from City College and moved on in their lives. He's the definition of above and beyond. And when I moved up to the Bay Area to attend Cal State East Bay and begin being in a new environment with new mentors and new guidance, no matter what issue I had, I was still on the phone with Adolfo in STEM. No one compared to him. He was always there to answer my calls and to hear me complain for about 20 minutes, and then he wanted to end the conversation by telling me, tough, make it happen and bring me back that bachelor's degree. So when I finally got my degree in the mail about a year ago, I was so excited to go to Adolfo. I remember walking into the STEM program, putting it right in front of his face and watching him open it. I was smiling from ear to ear. He opened it, took a look, looked at me, and he said, congratulations. So when are we going to fill out your application for grad school? I said, sir. I said, but that was Adolfo, always one step ahead of everybody. When I graduated from City College, he gave me his name tag that I'm wearing right now, and he told me, here, take this, and when you come back with a bachelor's degree and you get your own name tag, you can give this one back. I'm still waiting for Paloma to order me mine. But for now, I'm going to hold on real tight to this one because I have so much more to accomplish in order to make Adolfo very, very, very proud. Although we all want there to be a different ending to this tragic story, I have come to the realization that all these amazing people here today who have been blessed to know your parents, Adolfo and Mary Jane, promise to continue to spread their legacy and all that they have taught us in order to create a much more fulfilling ending to this story.
And now we'll hear from Teresa Chavez Madrigal and Gloria Eno, teachers from La Patera Elementary.
going to be okay. Those words passed across Mary Jane's lips so many times. I can still hear her voice telling us it's going to be okay. Giving, compassionate, selfless, loving. Those words are understatements to describe a friend, teacher, mother, wife, sister, daughter, and aunt who always saw the light in people and the silver lining in every situation.
My name is Teresa Chavez Madrigal. This is Gloria Ina, and this is our La Patera staff, and our principal, Celeste Darga, and our superintendent, Donna Lewis. And we just want to let you know that it's an absolute honor to speak here today on behalf of La Patera and the Goleta Union School District. We have known this beautiful family for the past 15 years. On the first day of school, Mary Jane and Adolfo dropped off their daughter, Asalia. And with a smile, they said, "Nice to meet you. How can we help?" These were not just words. They truly meant it. They rolled up their sleeves and they got right to work.
I always told people that La Patera was darn lucky to have Mrs. Corral as her computer specialist. With a degree in computer science and a brain like a computer, she could have landed a job anywhere. We were blessed that she and Adolfo chose La Patera as their children's school and put her career on hold to raise their 4 beautiful children, Azalia, Dahlia, Dominic, and Rose. Their children are second-generation La Patera Tigers. Adolfo was a Tiger alumni. The family attended every single La Patera event.
It's family. Sitting right here in the front row.
We were thrilled when Mary Jane announced her pregnancies with Dominic and Rose because we knew Adolfo would chaperone their SEMI trips. He was an incredible male role model, and I cannot stress that enough.
Mary Jane started as a parent classroom volunteer and a member of the PTA. She spent countless hours preparing materials, attending field trips, helping students with assignments, and at the end of the year, she always made a DVD for each of our families documenting the year with photos and a video of our annual musical play. As a PTA member, she assisted in numerous events such as book fairs, back-to-school nights, jogathons, Dr. Seuss nights, dessert auctions, Festival of Lights, La Patera carnivals. I can name numerous more, and she even led the Girl Scouts. Last Thursday night, we had our family science night, and of course, she was there helping out with her daughter. Rose was taking meal orders and delivering tacos to presenters. Mary Jane was taking pictures as usual, and at the end of the night, we were there taking down posters together. I know some of these pictures that she took were for their school yearbook, which she was the editor. Throughout the year, she would take pictures and then publish the La Patera yearbook.
She began La Patera as a parent, became a substitute teacher, and then our computer teacher. We depended on her quiet patience. No judgment.
No, none.
And her calm presence to walk us through every technical glitch. She always worked her magic with a smile.
Whether we saw her at school, at staff parties, Saturday walks, or social events like birthday parties, Super Bowl parties, weddings, and funerals, she was always loving, caring, and nurturing with everyone. She was truly devoted to students and demonstrated passion in working with our La Patera families and staff. We were fortunate to have a person with Mary Jane's qualities working at our school. She was approachable, supportive, gentle, dedicated, knowledgeable, and above all, humble. She will be greatly missed by our Goleta Union School District family, but her enduring light will last our lifetimes.
What Mary Jane treasured most were the countless friendships she weaved throughout her 15 years that grew well beyond La Patera. Both she and Adolfo would tell you to get involved. Right?
Yes.
Make choices to benefit the next generation of tigers or Seahawks, bulldogs, falcons, eagles, or whatever your mascot. Do it with a smile, and remember, it's going to be
okay. Thank you.
We'll now hear from Daniel Gonzalez, family friend. Daniel?
So I first got to meet Adolfo and get to know him when I was interviewing for a student job, and I didn't get the position. So my first impression of him was not too good. But it was what he did afterwards that really was just the first crack at our friendship, reaching out and telling me what I did wrong, what I could have done better. Most people that I met would just be like, you didn't qualify, you weren't eligible, and that was it. He worked with us. He worked with a lot of us to kind of make sure we got to where we wanted to be. You want to be a student worker? This is what you got to do. You want this position? This is what you got to do better. So he really just worked with us and just made sure everything was okay. Oh, man. Adolfo was a man of little words, but once you got him talking, he wouldn't stop. You could not just say hi to him, how are things going. It would start off with how your classes are going, and then it would get into where you're transferring. You're saving your money. You need to buy a house. How's your credit score? Things like that. And by the end of the semester, in my case, he was helping me buy a house and things like that. And those were things that I could never repay him for. Adolfo was not only my best friend, but he was part of my family. He was at every family party, my wedding. We'd go on trips together, and even though some of my family didn't know his name, they'd call him El Amigo con los lentes. For my non-Spanish speaking people, with the friend with glasses. He was just part of the family. Everyone identified him like that. Anyone who ever knew or hung out with Adolfo outside of work just knew what great of a guy he was, how fun he was. His smile, his laughter, his jokes. Like Alicia said, sometimes they weren't meant to be funny, but they just were. They were awesome. I spent the last 10, 12 years just trying to find something that was wrong with him. He couldn't be this perfect guy. There had to be something wrong with him. I just couldn't find it. Other than not being social media savvy and not having that. I know Mary Jane. I bugged her so much. Every week I'd tag her in memes and videos and say, not only can you show Adolfo, but explain to Adolfo what this means. And it was just, we just always talked about, we had a 10-year difference, and I kept him young, and he just helped me grow. And yeah, sorry, Mary Jane, for bugging a lot. I just want to let the kids know, a lot of us turned out okay because of your parents. And we only spent a fraction of the day with them. You guys having your mom and your dad, I can only imagine how amazing you guys are going to be. I could go on and spend hours talking about our stories, things we did, but although we had a lot of fun together and we did a lot of crazy things, we did talk a lot of business. Students, There wasn't a time we wouldn't hang out and just start plotting about you guys. Thinking what's our next move, what you're going to tell you guys without you knowing what we're trying to do. He loved you guys. Whether it was trying to get you out of SBCC finally after a long time, or whether it was Sarah being at UCLA and trying to figure out what her next move was going to be. He really loved you. He did what he did, and he did it all for you guys. The late hours, the weekend events, losing about 10, 15 pounds in the summer because he was running around summer bridge programs. He did it, and he never complained. We always joked about him and made fun of him for saying tough. He used it for everything. Little did I know that catchphrase, that word tough, would just be the only word I could describe how the last couple of days have been. Yeah.
We will now invite Michael Medill, SBCC Director of Admissions and Records, and close family friend.
I want to start off by offering my deepest condolences to both the Corral and Becerra families, especially the children. I hope in these coming days it brings you comfort to truly know the impact that Jane and Adolfo had on this community. I had the fortunate pleasure of not only knowing Adolfo as my colleague, but as my friend. Often you may feel lucky if you talk or see good friends once a week, maybe once a month, maybe just during the holidays. I got to see and work with my friend every day for the last 16 years. Many of the speeches today and at the vigil on Monday really highlighted the beautiful qualities of both Mary Jane and Adolfo so well. If you only had the pleasure of knowing Adolfo while working with him here at the college, I can tell you that you knew the work Adolfo. But I and other friends here, we knew a very different Adolfo. Adolfo and I had mutual friends in high school. He went to Dos Pueblos High School. I went to Carpinteria High School. But our friendships really didn't get started until college. And I remember that first night that our friendship took a turn, just like yesterday. I was with my friend Tony, and he invited me to a house party. When we arrived at the house, I went to the door. Before I opened the door, Tony stopped me, and he said, "Hold on a second. I need to prepare you for my friend Adolfo, who's going to be here tonight." And at the time, I thought, oh, Adolfo must be the family dog, and he's going to prep me that the dog's going to jump on me or bark at me or do something weird. And Tony goes on to explain, look, Adolfo is really loud. He has a lot of energy. He's often obnoxious. And sometimes it's a little too much for people to handle. And I respond, let me get this straight. We're going to a party, and there's someone in there that's having fun and being loud. What am I missing here? And Tony responds, you just don't understand. You'll never meet a person like Adolfo. There's not a soul in this universe that duplicates Adolfo and what you're about to experience. Adolfo did not disappoint that night, or for any night for that matter. Adolfo was always the life of every party he was at. If you were fortunate enough to be in his circle, you can sit around the table and share numerous Adolfo stories all night long and laugh until you can laugh no more. During this time, I often heard about this Mary Jane girl and how great she was. And I thought at the time, this girl is going to have to be better than great if she's going to tame Adolfo. I was right. She was the perfect person to make Adolfo appear normal. She was beautiful, she was smart, and had such a quiet confidence about her. Adolfo and Jane got married and they moved to Arizona for a short while, and he and I lost contact. Life gets busy. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months with no contact. I was trying to land a full-time job here at Santa Barbara City College, and I had a final interview here. And I walked out when I was finished from the final interview, and I walked into the lobby, and guess who was sitting in the lobby waiting for an interview? And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and there was an awkward silence. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "What are you doing here?" Then we stood up, we paused, we looked at each other, and together, talked. So if you know Adolfo, you know that he gave new meaning to the word tough. In fact, he created an entire dictionary of the different meanings of tough. For example, if he agreed with you and he wanted to show you respect and gratitude, you would get a tough. If he agreed with you, but you caught him off guard and he was in deep thought, you would get an extended tough. Tough. And if he was not sure about the situation and just wanted to acknowledge you and then move on, you'd get a bullet tough, which is like this. Tough, 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 tough. And reserved for special occasions only, when he was really fired up, you would get a, "That's legit tough." We spent 16 years growing up together at this college. We supported each other. We mentored each other. We drove each other. We both started out as classified staff. We both entered into graduate programs. We both went on to be faculty. We both went on to become managers. I'm going to miss our weekly talks in our offices. I'm going to miss walking into my department and hearing my staff say, "Adolfo's waiting for you in your office," or "Adolfo was just here looking for you." We had great talks, and often he would talk about his family and how proud he was of everyone, especially his beautiful children. Noel, you had some nice words to share about your brother on Monday night. You talked about how you looked up to him and you wanted to be just like him. But I think you have it backwards, brother. Adolfo wanted to be just like you. He talked about you often, every job promotion you got, going to graduate school, getting your PhD. He loved you, he admired you deeply, as well as your brothers. Salia, Dalia, Dominique, Rose. Your parents were the true definition of heroes, and their impact lives through with all of us. I have a poem that I have framed in my office, and I was looking at it yesterday, and I think it perfectly captures the essence of Mary Jane and Adolfo and everything you've heard about them today. As you listen to the words, the visions of Jane and Adolfo come to the forefront. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Adolfo, Mary Jane, take a look. You've succeeded.
And now we'll hear from Azella Corral family.
I wanted to say thank you to everybody for coming. It means a lot to all of us. And I wanted to read some of the nice things people have been telling me about my mom and dad. Bronwyn said Adolfo was so kind, so caring, so ethical, so effective in elevating others, so generous. It was a joy to work with him. He always took the high road. He always put the students first. I loved him and I will miss him every day. He and Mary Jane gave so much to so many people. About my mom, someone said, Mary Jane did so much for the students of La Patera. Her kindness extended way beyond the computer classes she taught. She supported the students in every